Bungie has just apologized for the crazy delay of this roadmap. If you don't know what's going on, we've been talking about it extensively in Destiny 2, but they promised that there would be a roadmap in their last developer live stream, and that was over 2 months ago. They said that it would be here in just a few weeks, and now a lot of people are asking questions like, what is going on? Where's the leadership at right now? You've got Pete Parsons leaving and being replaced. And you would think that, as soon as you get rid of basically the witness within Bungie, right, that the new leadership would be there and ready to go, ready to kick ass. But instead, we've got, a new CEO or a studio lead now. And we've got less communication. We've got more frustration from the community. It's bad. It's real bad. We have a new game director, Tyson Green. They're not saying anything publicly. It's starting to boil over for the Destiny 2 community. We are at a point where we are demanding answers from Bungie, and we finally have gotten some response from DMG here. So let's start from the beginning. He quote tweets the trailer that was shared today for Renegades, and he said, "Fun new stuff." And then this individual replied to him saying, "Where is the roadmap promised to us months ago? I feel like there has been radio silence and no buildup whatsoever for Renegades, and it's just a month away. That's very concerning to a very large amount of players when the game is already really struggling with player numbers," which is true. We are literally at a record low, and we continue to hit record low numbers week after week right now. So DMG, the principal communications manager for Bungie, says this: "Cannot apologize enough for the delay here." Okay. Now, it's not a formal apology like a public one, but just in a reply, which it serves its purpose to some degree, but I feel like we should get a bigger response than this. They then go on to say, "Team's still jamming. Hope to have some comms out soon." All right. I don't know how or why it takes more than 2 months to come up with a roadmap. I mean, Destiny Bulletin even put together a series of events that have already been given to us. So we kind of know what's going on until 2027 as like a very loose blueprint. We just want to fill in the gaps, and we want to be excited again for things post Renegades, because right now Renegades is definitely on the horizon. We're like, okay, that's something. But then what? Like that's a month away from now, and we want to know what's after that. So that way we kind of know where the game's going, what's the direction, etc. And taking 2 months to make a roadmap is kind of insane. Like, let's just be real here. Even if you feel like it's too dry, too bare bones, that's okay. You could just keep updating it. You could give us an update to the roadmap every month. So that way we kind of have a loose blueprint of what's going on. And obviously, as you get further out in these roadmaps, you're going to be a little bit more vague because, what happens 3-4 years from now, we're not going to be able to talk about too much because a lot can change between now and then. But definitely what's happening in the next 6 months in Destiny should be very well communicated regularly. So that way we know what's going on. But no mention of that. Then he goes on to say, "Please continue to yell at me directly. And I say this without any sarcasm." So basically, if you want to chirp at DMG or at the Bungie devs, you're more than welcome to, direct it towards him, which is good. I mean, he actually is one of the few, or pretty much the only one that really responds to a lot of stuff like this. Obviously, it's his job to be, involved in the communications between Bungie as a studio and us as a community. And I think he genuinely does mean this. Like, he wants you to direct all of this towards him. But the part I find peculiar about this is that we've been saying this for weeks now. So I'm curious as to why now we just decide to respond and still being kind of vague. It feels like it's a lot of this same thing that people kind of have been roasting him for lately, which is that he does communicate, but he just chooses to be really vague. And it's kind of like infuriating to some degree. Like, basically, if you say, "We are working on it," or "That's, message heard," it doesn't really do as much. We want to get into the specifics. We want to know, when is the exact timeline that the roadmap comes out? It's coming out next TWID. It's coming out, 2 TWIDs from now, whatever it may be. It doesn't really matter. Just some concise, clear direction from the leadership. This is when we are releasing the roadmap, the date. We want to know. You already said it would be over a month ago coming out. So what is going on? The team is focused on our immediate and long-term future. Okay, so this is a kind of a nothing burger here. I mean, obviously, they're going to be focused on both. "I'm happy to take 100% of the blame here in promising comms early that we could not execute on in the projected timeline." Oh, wow. So he might be insinuating that a roadmap is canceled potentially, So he's taking 100% of the blame here and promising comms early that we could not execute on in the project timeline. So either the roadmap is canceled, which I don't think is the case, or it's just being extended and delayed by quite a bit, and it's eventually going to come out, which either way is still just weird to me because they do have a roadmap that they're working on right now. Like they do have, Renegades and this and that, and everything is kind of lined up. It would just be nice if they release that to us at some point in time. I feel like they're kind of waiting for the most opportune moment. They don't want to release it right now because maybe a lot of the negative sentiment would frustrate players or it would get a lot of backlash because we're at kind of a low point. So I think they're trying to like strategically position themselves to deliver news at a time when everyone's excited. So I imagine maybe they'll do like a really big Renegades reveal. And during that, they'll reveal the roadmap, or maybe they'll wait until Renegades launches. I mean, that's a month from now, though. If they wait another month for this is not a good look from them. I would say that the roadmap, the state of the game article, a dev podcast, anything, any type of communication is going to be good. It's because we are going through literally the worst population of every playlist. Gambit is unplayable. Literally, you cannot even find a match in Gambit currently. Trials had 9 teams playing at its low point. We just talked about that. Every playlist is hitting its lowest population numbers. Is bad. The reviews of Destiny 2. Let me see where the reviews at, because a lot of people were saying that we were getting review bombed. So let's see what the reviews are at for Edge of Fate now that the review bomb bots would be gone right now. Okay, it went to very negative. Okay, so it went from overwhelmingly negative, which is what everyone said with the bots, but now all of those bot reviews have expired their 30-day period. So you can see here that even without the hate reviews, without the overt negativity, without the bots, right? Mass reviewing this, which was something that was brought up on Reddit, which I still think is a little bit of copium. The game's still at 9%, It's not like the bots brought the game from like 60% down to 3, like where it was, right? It's still at less than 10%. Like these are all genuine reviews. These are people genuinely playing the game. And you can see that the number of reviews has drastically gone down. It was at like 200, 300, but now it's at like 51. Just no one even cares to give their opinion, it seems like right now. So it's obviously pretty bad, right? The state of the game has never been worse, ever. Even worse than Destiny 2 Year 1. We are truly in an epidemic. We're truly in a big problem right now. And the fact that we're just not talking about it and that we're given, vague, teams jamming. Don't worry, guys. We're listening, right? We keep getting that we're listening. And so that we're listening just doesn't really do it for us anymore. We don't want to hear we're listening. It comes across like pandering a little bit. It comes across like you think that by saying we're listening, you basically get the get out of jail free card. Like, oh, I responded with he used the word, we're listening. So now I don't have to actually like communicate what's going on. But we're listening does not assure the Destiny 2 players that the future is going to be good. We're listening does not help the situation. Teams still jamming does not help the situation. Some good leadership, some concise decisions, sometimes I get it, right? It's a hard decision. That's a hard thing they're going through, but you're making it harder on yourself, right? Imagine you have to go through one of the hardest things ever. You're nervous. You might lose your job. You're probably waking up in the middle of the night thinking, fuck, what happens if I get that email tomorrow, that there's that third round of layoffs. And then suddenly there's another 100 people fired, right? Am I on that list, right? Am I going to be gone, right? There's a lot of anxiety, right? Of course it's understood, but at least if you're going to go out, or at least if you're going to experience adversity like you have been, at least go guns blazing is what I'm saying, dude. Go buck wild, start communicating, start telling people what's going on, start, talking, because if you don't talk, what you do is you just let everyone else make the narrative for you, right? And they're going to make the narrative. You think they won't? You're very wrong. Okay. People like this guy right here, he doesn't have nothing wrong in what he said here, but he's just telling you, radio silence, no buildup, a month away, very concerning to a large amount of players, right? When the game is really struggling, 200 likes, obviously people are going to pay attention. People are going to create the narratives, and the best narrative they're going to create, or the worst narrative they're going to create, is Destiny is dead. Destiny is dying. Don't play this game, right? Which is obviously like the worst narrative you could let run for your game. All 9 teams and trials are very weird right now. I want to bring up some stats of this that I think are interesting. I know we're not talking about Destiny 2 stats right here. Obviously, 15,000 on a reset day is absolutely diabolical, though. Like, holy crap. 15K on a reset day? Oh my god, this was the lowest. This is meant to be like 15K is on a Monday, like the day before reset. Holy crap, we are about to see this Monday is about to be like sub 10K 24-hour peak. We're about to see less than like 1,000 players in the game at some point. It's about to be brutal. But what I really wanted to pull up was this right here. This is crazy. So you might be thinking, what the hell does this have to do with anything, Lucky? New World? This game just died. This game is over, done with. It's been developed for 4 years. It was a pretty good game, actually. A lot of people liked it. They just did an update in October. All right. You can see they had 40K players every day. And then something immediately happened right here that really flatlined everything. And that was they just announced that the game was over. They said that they're going to run it to the ground for another year. You're going to get to play and do everything, but the game's over. And so gamers pay attention to social media very much because there's not like, I don't think there's an in-game message. Maybe there was. I didn't log in and play the game, but maybe whether there's an in-game message or not, people clearly are disinterested in playing a game that is declining or dying or one that has an end to it, right? And when you let people create this narrative that Destiny 2 is dying or dead or doesn't have a future or all of these things, right? Which is the natural response to what's happening, you're going to get this New World effect where everyone that talks about Destiny 2, they just saying negative things. They don't have anything nice to say right now. Just like, dude, it's like rated the worst. It's the worst it's ever been. Don't play this game, you know? And game's probably not going to last much longer, right? And if Bungie doesn't give us like a definitive roadmap of being like, no, we are like, no matter what, we got the money to make this game go on another 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, then that just assures the confidence that it goes on. And you stay here, right? You stay in this section where people are playing. But if you don't, then everyone creates the narrative that the game is dying, just like New World did. And then everyone just gets offline. Like this game had 40K players every single day until the day they announced the game was dead. And now it gets less than gets like 5,000 players online. Like 80% of the people just immediately stopped playing this game instantly as soon as they were like, yep, the game only has a year left to live, right? That's kind of what's happening with Destiny 2 and its population. Everyone else is saying, dude, game's dying, game's going downhill, don't play. And everyone's super frustrated. And because Bungie isn't saying anything, that narrative is getting so far. It's like so strong now. Like I swear you probably would search Destiny 2 in any Google search and it would probably it's going to not work for me because I obviously play the game. But if you never played the game and you just search Destiny 2, it's just going to be like the first thing is Destiny 2 is dying. Destiny 2 dead game. Destiny 2 do not play. You know, like I guarantee you with all the algorithms right now, it's not good. No one's saying like, yeah, dude, Destiny 2, let's go. Like no one's stoked, right? So you got to get this out. You got to get this out this week. It needs to be this TWID. If the TWID doesn't have the roadmap, you guys are shit in the bed. I'm going to be honest with you. You guys are absolutely shit in the bed. And it sucks because we sat here for a while and we said, you know what? F Pete Parsons. That's the guy that needs to go down. If we get rid of him, the game will be better. And then that happened. And now here we are. And the game is just as worse, if not more. Pete might have been the glue holding this game together at this point, all right? Maybe we need him back. If this is what the game looks like without him, like, holy fuck, how has it gotten this bad? This is insanity. But let me know what you think about the situation in the comments below. Bungie has apologized. That's wrap.